Cookie roll, please. Mr. Duran? Mr. Dogel?
Here.
Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Melko?
Present.
Ms. Cook?
Present.
Mr. Viejo?
Present.
Chairman Benjamin? Here. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes from April 11th? Any comments, additions, corrections?
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Dogel? Mr. Dogel?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
I was absent for the meeting, so I have no voice.
Mr. Melko?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Viejo?
Yes.
Chairman Benjamin? Yes, minutes are approved. Before we leave the minutes, I'm going to come back to, under old business, we're going to come back to the first paragraph for the item number 1 from April 11th under old business. There we go. We have one agenda item for today, which I will read. It's a request for an annexation, a small-scale future land use map amendment to tourist and a zoning designation of CL commercial low intensity for approximately .833 acres located west of the intersection of PCB Parkway and Malaga Place. Very good. Jennings Act.
I don't have anything to discuss.
I went to the property and just looked at it.
Looked at the property but had spoken to no one.
I also went by the property and spoke to nobody.
Same thing. Went to the property, spoke to no one.
Went to the property and spoke to no one.
This no one guy's pretty popular.
Yeah.
The what?
I said the no one guy is pretty popular.
Maybe
Yeah.
he should be here.
Well, there is no one there.
He should call us more often. Do we have someone speaking for this request? Is that you, sir?
Yes.
Please.
I'm Dalton Parker with the Line South Construction Group. We are the owners of the property. So I'm representing Richard Dodd, has been running point on this, and he is out of town, so I'm the warm body for y'all.
Okay.
To do what you want.
Warm body. Okay. Is there anything that you would like to add or comment on regarding the staff report?
No, sir, not that I saw. I've read it, and I think it's in line with our intent for use of the property.
Okay. All right. Mr. Silky, any
Yes.
comments from the staff side?
We have no objections. It meets all the criteria. Water, sewer is available. Reclaimed water is available. Seems to make sense.
Okay. And everyone has seen the correction that was sent out, right?
Mhm.
So, okay, there's no problems on any level.
Not on quite, no.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Any questions of staff?
Just wondered if anybody replied to the dear neighbor.
I didn't receive anything.
Yeah.
Andrea? Nothing from Andrea.
Yeah. Okay.
No comments from the public? All right. And there's no one here today.
Is this a 2-vote or 1-vote situation?
This,
An annexation and a zoning
that's a good question.
designation?
Technically, it's 3 votes.
3 votes?
One on the annexation, one of the comp plan, and one on the zoning.
There you go.
Okay, so we need 3 separate motions.
Yes.
Okay. Good point. Is there any other discussion on it? This will be the fastest planning board meeting in history.
You're welcome.
No credit to you. Yeah.
I get the two. I
Do
guess
you
I
have
don't
any
get the
illustrations of
third.
the buildings themselves that you think?
We have some very rough elevations, just some very generic ones on AutoCAD. We're not exactly working more on the full plan footprint
Designations.
than the elevations. Elevations are more in a discussion phase right now.
That's what I thought.
How many units would be in each one of the buildings?
Yet to be determined. We're looking at, one of the ideas we're throwing around is having our office in one and renting out the other space.
They're 1-story, 2-story?
Those are one. Yes, that's what we're looking at there.
Coming up with that at the
24 square feet.
Can't be too large. You only have 17 parking spaces, so.
Yeah, it's not gonna be several buildings. It's probably gonna be one in each building if I had to guess.
Any additional questions or comments of the applicant?
Yes.
Go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a permit for that curb cut in there?
The DOT.
Access to the property.
I do not know if it was not in the packet.
No, it's not. in it.
Charles, is there a permit for the curve cut off of Highway 98?
Nothing's been submitted yet, I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's more preliminary. I think we have, Richard talked to us, the appropriate authority that we could do that, but that is just a plan on what his intent is, to do.
Okay, because just from past experience, you may have to enter on Malaga or the other street.
No, it's up past Malaga and then,
Yeah, it's west of.
so Malaga comes in out here, so this is up here.
Yeah.
So there's no street coming in.
There is no street there, is there? This is,
This is Malaga coming in.
where's
Like
Casa?
that.
Casa's right here.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any problems with their access they're proposing.
Okay, that was
Don't
it.
see anything.
Some other questions?
Sir?
I just thought I seen some things on the property, maybe it's not important, but like, was that a cell phone tower around the fence, and is that on your property as well?
Well, it's a billboard.
I've seen that as well, west of the other one that has a fence around it.
And it's my understanding that the billboard does overhang some into our property. We have been in contact with him about that. It's my understanding it really has gone nowhere. But, yeah, the cell phone tower, yeah, I believe that it's close, but I understand.
Not
it's
on the property.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the application for annexation, I guess that's the first
Yes.
one.
Okay. Second, please.
I'll second it.
Okay. Mr. Soki?
Mr. Dogel?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Melko?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Viejo?
Yes.
Chairman Benjamin?
Yes.
So it's annexed then.
What's the next one?
Next is the
Comp
small scale plan amendment.
I'll make a motion for the small scale plan amendment.
Second.
A second. Mr. Soki?
Mr. Dogel?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Melko?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Viejo?
Yes.
And now zoning, right?
No, zoning, yes. Zoning assignment of CL, commercial low.
I'll make a motion for the zoning of the designation of CL to be approved.
I second.
Mr. Soki?
Mr. Dogel?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Melko?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Viejo?
Yes.
Chairman Benjamin?
Yes.
Make it beautiful.
Okay.
That was quick.
That was it. Okay. Okay, thank you for coming in. You can take all the credit and having, which is good, since you did little of the work. Yeah. See ya. All right. Before we leave,
Not getting up.
okay, is there any old business other than what I want to bring up?
Well, is the tree board gonna meet anytime soon? I noticed that the city got a tree award, so I was just wondering if we would be meeting anytime soon.
Yeah, I guess we're Tree City now.
That's correct.
But we do have some money available, but nothing's been scheduled.
Okay.
I'll speak with Mel.
Right, he mentioned to me the other day that we need to reactivate that, and
Okay.
he thinks that's coming, okay? I also, since you mentioned that, this has nothing to do with it at all, other than beautification. Do you remember way back when we talked about the new Medes location and the building that's right where Middle Beach and Front Beach? Okay. At the time, we talked about an architectural review board, okay? And we were going to take a look at the board, the necessity of having one. Of course, they have to be referred to us by council, but also that description of the building and the desire of some council members at the time to not have that happen ever again. So that may come up with us. I've actually
I thought through
received.
the city that already got taken care of, that there's no way that you can put two storage buildings together to become a business now,
It
right?
died. It actually
What?
died here.
Oh, it died here. Oh.
But it died here because
I wasn't
it had not been directed to us by council.
Ooh,
We had discussion.
it may have been directed by council, but the way we were going about it was dismissed.
Okay.
In
Oh.
favor of an architectural review board.
Okay,
So if
that's
you wanna
right.
prevent these buildings, you need an architectural review board, cause you're just trying to prevent ugly.
Right.
Right.
So what
Okay.
happened next then? Because I mean, I thought that when we did that, it took it out of our hands and back into their hands.
There was no appetite for an architectural review board, so it didn't go
Oh.
anywhere.
Got it.
Okay.
So they don't
But it's
care
a new-
about
It's a
ugly.
new council
Okay.
and a new day. That doesn't mean that they don't care about ugly, but
Okay.
at that point, it died.
Right,
At that
that's a
point,
good point.
we didn't care
I
about it.
received, does everybody remember Mr. Carroll's presentation on the new little strip area that's going up
Oh,
near
yeah.
Boar's Head?
Mhm.
Two people called me last week and said it was the ugliest paint and I said, stop, okay? I mean, you know, stop. Anyway, there is an agenda item.
That one
Ugliest
actually
paint.
is outside the Front Beach overlay. It's kind of unusual. It's the one parcel that's outside the Front Beach overlay.
Right, is it?
Doesn't
Yeah.
change that it has ugly paint.
Well, beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, but I believe that there's an agenda item for Thursday that one of you two might want to bring up, the subject of an architectural review board, okay? Because we've talked about it before. Okay, anyway, let's shift gears to, Miss Amy and I talked about this before the meeting. She is trying to put together the minutes, or how would you describe it?
I'm not putting together the minutes.
No.
But I'm revising the draft order for
The draft-
Shops at Edgewater.
okay.
Development.
Which was at our last meeting. Okay, and I had a real problem reading the first paragraph, and it makes perfectly good sense to me. Miss Amy has explained it, that the staff determines whether the application is complete or not, okay? And then it comes to us, and it seems to me that if once staff says it's good enough to come to you guys, we're stuck with it. And I don't know as if everybody or anybody was, Mr. Turner wasn't here, was very comfortable with the application and the lack of information that was on it the last time around. Not only that, but Mr. Dalgo made the point that it would not be coming back to us, so therefore we're trusting that the developer and the staff are going to put together everything, remember every word that we spoke, decide what restaurants go where, and if not, and what amusements go. And I shared his concern at this time. I really think that it needs to come back, should have come back to us, or that we need to review it. If we made a recommendation, theoretically this is a 10-year project, and theoretically staff goes away in 2 years, and now we have new staff, and they're going to look at it.
Are you going away in 2 years?
If they ask me to go, I imagine.
Okay.
I'm planning on it.
My point is that Amy is struggling to put this thing together. Is that a good word, struggle?
Were you struggling?
It's fair.
It's what she's trying to.
I want to
laboring.
put enough details in it. May I?
Yes, please. Yes.
I want to put enough details in it so that if you are not the person who receives the master plan or the final site development plan, that you can, whoever your successor is or whoever looks at it in the future, or even if it is you, so that you can remember what happened last month. That the order doesn't just say they met all of the procedural requirements for master plan, which they did, but also says subject to sort of this concept that we approved, that it would be a town center type development, that no restaurants would be closer to the residential on the east than, and I don't remember what that is, that the only access points would be the existing curb cuts right now, one on Front Beach Road and two on Richard Jackson or whatever they are.
That's what they are.
That the errors in the application
Two on
would be
Front Beach.
corrected so that it's 85% impervious space, not 100. That the maximum height would be 45 unless they apply to the council and get approved for height incentives. That this order doesn't approve amusements and restaurants as a matter of right, that they still have to meet all of the supplementary criteria in effect on the date of their final site development application, or at a minimum, the ones that are in effect today.
So did you put that in there? Okay.
That's what she's trying to do, and that goes back to.
Yeah, let me clarify where I was coming from. It's not that I don't have a problem with planning and faith in their judgment. But time and time again, we've seen projects that met all the requirements, and yet there were some issues with the local residents. And my concern was, I didn't see that mechanism available for the residents to voice any concerns down the road before this was implemented.
Right.
And I think that somehow needs to be, and maybe the vehicle is to bring in front of this board again and then have a public.
Yeah, because what we did was we approved something, and 6 months or 6 years from now, how many of us are going to remember any of it?
I don't remember breakfast, so I don't know.
Right. So, and who's to make sure that what we want or what we think we were saying, what we basically did was sprinkle holy water on a concept. Staff's going to take care of it. Let's move on. Okay. I don't think that's good enough.
Well, I do think that's staff's job. I mean,
True.
I do think that's their job, and even if they turn over people, the criteria that these people need to meet is not going to change unless it's changed at a council level or something like that. So,
But the criteria needs to be written down. You can't just say. It
But I
needs
think
to
what she
conform to
said
the
is-
LDC. That's what she's trying to do.
yeah. I mean, I think
We're
if
trying
that's
to
what
get some more meat to the order so that when a final site development plan does come to you, there's a frame of reference for, yes, this is within the ballpark and realm of what we envisioned,
Yeah.
contemplated. It doesn't come back to you as, let's say, an amusement park.
Yeah.
That is not what you approved.
yeah, it's not.
So, but if they fill all the procedural boxes, unless there's meat here to say that it's got to be a town center type development with sort of these conditions, I think you potentially do run that risk if the order is too generic. So I just, not
Right.
that it would happen.
But you are making sure that those things are put in there for us.
yeah, I
Okay.
would like to see that happen.
Right.
That's my recommendation.
Okay. I remember maybe it was a year or two that Mr. Carroll, he always brings quality stuff, and so does Mr. Burke. Okay. But his presentation had a lot of holes in it. Okay. And that puts us in a position of trying to figure out what the holes are and how to fill them and how to translate that back to something that you've got a reasonable checklist. Okay. So while I agree with what you said last time, that staff determines what's complete, okay, I think we also have the option of saying, no, it's not complete for us.
I
So
think you do too.
get it out of here.
Because unless we have a final plan, we don't have to say yes to
We
it.
don't even see a final plan, and that goes back to,
I think
okay.
y'all are in the position of being able to weigh in on the substance of the
Right.
application and say
Right.
it needs more detail. But
Right.
yes, staff does look
So-
at the completeness.
So I have a question then.
Yes.
Most likely I'll be the one reviewing this. So if I receive something similar to this, and it's my interpretation, I feel that he hasn't met all the criteria. I just put a stop on it and say I'm not ready to bring it forward,
Yes.
and then okay. So all right, that's what I'll do. If all of my questions are not answered from this point forward, I'm going to stop, put a roadblock and everything
well,
until I feel it's complete, and then
You
I'm
and
going
I-
to look forward to you.
yes, yes, but I think you're being a little too harsh. You asked a perfect question, okay? It was a perfect question, and if it had been phrased different, it would have been great. How long, Mr. Burke had inaccurate information to fill out, okay? Well, this thing says the LDC says time and time again, you've got 5 days or something like that, okay? Well, when did Mr. Burke know that he needed more information? Surely he had something else to do to
There's
fill in a bunch
yeah,
of
there-
blanks.
there's plenty of
beforehand.
time.
Your question was excellent. If you had just rephrased it, see, that would have been a bigger trigger
Okay,
to me.
so just to clarify, so if I feel it's 90% complete, I bring it forward?
I think
What?
you're trying to do what I want you to do, and that's nail it down.
Right. I
But
mean,
you
I'll do
have
it.
to use your judgment.
If you,
But if you bring me something, and I'm
Okay.
sitting here like he brought us last time, I will cast a no vote that we don't have to hear it, because it says right here, the board decided to move ahead. Did we make a motion?
Yes.
Or yeah, we did. Okay.
Okay.
And if the board feels like,
There's not enough information.
which I thought that a lot of us felt that way last time, a lot of those questions were so simple, they just could have been, they didn't need to be a question.
okay,
Anyway,
I'll do it.
You'll do what?
I will make sure the applications are complete before they even come near you.
Okay.
Well, and it was complete, but more detailed,
Okay.
I guess is right.
Yes. Yes.
Because it was complete, or we wouldn't have moved forward.
Somewhere between what we received and what we should have received.
Or what we were comfortable to receive, because we got what we should have gotten.
Just move
And
the
trusting
line.
our staff to do their job
Right.
is what we're supposed to do, just like they're trusting us to do our job.
Just
So-
move the line.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
So we
I
don't
make
halt progress.
Comment on Mr. McDougal's comment over here about the public and us not being able to answer the questions. We have today a whole lot more, I guess, ability to look at things and make a decision than we had many years ago. When things came before the board before, it was like, this is what you got, and it goes to the council, and that's all you see, and the public sits there. We couldn't answer their questions on the thing. I don't know we'll ever be able to get the authority to say yes or no to something as a final, because it has to go before the council on there. There have been some changes made over the years, which help us in making those determinations, but we'll never get to a point, I don't think, where we can have total authority as to saying yes or no to something as a final, because it's got to go before the council. And that has been this last council's choice on there as to what we could or could not do on it. We've gone from a little bubble program over here to indicate what's going to be there to having something more structured to show what exactly is they're looking for on there. So, and the public always wants to know, well, what are you going to put on? Because we approve something, and this is what they tell everybody they're going to do, and then when we get it approved, it comes back and something totally different goes in on the thing, and we don't have the wherewith to make them hold their feet to the fire. Let's put it that way. Although we've made a lot of inroads from years ago when I first started on the planning board, there had been a lot of changes helping us in that direction, but.
So Amy, is this that you're trying to put together for the council?
No, it's for Ed to sign them as what the planning board saw
Agreed to.
and approved.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I will not be here for 2 weeks. So are you going to have that done in the next 2 weeks?
I'm gonna send it to them tonight.
Pardon?
I'm gonna send it to them tonight, so hopefully you can have it by Wednesday.
Okay. I won't be here. It should,
Or do you have a vice chair?
yes.
That would be me.
You can sign it.
So,
If it's got all of Ben's detail, Mr. Benjamin's detail in it, I will sign it. I have your back.
wink, wink. Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay. To your point, we discussed within the last maybe year of when you have commercial high, you have X number of uses. You have commercial medium, you have X number of uses. Commercial low, once again, okay? And we've got zoning categories and we've got uses within those. Going back to, we've been wrestling with this since 2000.
Way back when.
2000, we've been wrestling with the same thing. We brought that up before the council at some point in time. Miss Josie was here in the room, and I think you were in favor at the time on a preliminary basis of saying, yes, you can put in a flower shop and you can put in a small convenience store, but that's got nothing to do, okay, with putting in a big gymnasium or a 5-story bank. That there were certain uses that fit into certain categories, and that needed to be refined. Okay, now staff's counter argument to that is that some of the stuff that's a real nuisance, okay, has supplemental and conditional uses, and that really tightens up a lot of things. So maybe the new council will move forward on having various uses put into various zoning categories. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. Is there any other new business? Old business?
Don't we already have that though? I mean,
Yes.
the way I read that book, we have categories and certain uses,
Yes.
categories, certain uses, and if
Yes.
there's something that they want to place in there that really isn't in there, they have to come to us with a conditional use.
Right. Right.
So what more are we wanting, I guess, is my question.
Well, I didn't say we did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I think that when the public sits back here and someone says commercial low, there's 47 different things that can go in there.
Which commercial
okay?
low are you talking about?
Right, because
Okay.
they feel very comfortable with the flower shop, but the other end of the commercial low, that maybe that's not a good idea.
Got it.
Okay, and you can take, I did this, and the numbers may not be right, but a lot of those things, like commercial high, the churches, the schools, the private schools, the gymnasiums and things, they can all be put over here into one category. So, I mean, they don't need to, you can put anything, any of those over here.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, maybe we'll come back to that, maybe not. All right, anything else? This meeting's adjourned, signed correctly.
I will do that. Do I sign my name or yours?
Yours.
Sign yours.